Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Project Review Committee for August 27th, 2025. We're going to go ahead and start today's meeting at 1:33 p.m. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and do roll call here for city staff, starting with myself, Oscar Cepeda. I am the chairperson for PRC today and also the associate planner within the planning division. We're joined by Claudia Calderon, our community development director and zoning administrator. Jeff O'Neill also joins us as our city planner. Rocio Mejia joins us as our assistant planner. With the engineering division, we're joined by Javier Sanchez as our engineering and project management director. From the fire department, we're joined by Clayton Dignam as our fire marshal. With our building division, we're joined by James Wickersham, our chief building official. With Public Works, we're joined by Brianna Spry, our field services superintendent for refuse. Also from the Public Works Department, we're joined by Joe Baeza, our field services superintendent for streets. With the police department, we're joined by Mark Acevedo, our police department lieutenant. And that is all from city staff. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open oral communications. This is the opportunity for public members to address the committee on any matter related to project review. Hearing no comments in person, are there any members joining us online that would like to address the members of the committee on any matter related to project review? All right, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close oral communications. Let's see. It's okay. So for today's project review committee agenda, we do have two items. Starting with the first one, which is PRC 2025-037 for property at 367 North Main Street. Let me pull up the project here. The applicant is proposing the establishment of multiple suites to accommodate small businesses on the first floor of the building, and also establishing a residential area on the second floor. The property is in our downtown district, downtown retail Norfolk Olive Zone District, and has a general plan land use designation of downtown retail. Let me share the screen here of the preliminary floor plans of the project. As far as comments from planning are going to be pretty straight forward. Any changes to the exterior complying with our downtown design guidelines. Any signage for the businesses complying with Chapter 305 of the Porterville Development Ordinance. As far as any uses, any future uses within these newly created suites, we want to make sure that they are permitted uses within the downtown retail north. So whenever we'll get those inquiries, we'll make sure we outline those for your new tenants. Any future, if you want to do a grand opening, for example, make sure that if you're going to be utilizing any outdoor area, like your parking lot or any other area that's not within the building, we will require a temporary use permit. And one comment that I do want to highlight is in regards to the parking area there behind the building. We just want to make sure that we do repairs to that. This area, as you can see, that the existing parking area is in repair. making sure also that we restripe those stalls.
Fix them and understand.
It is existing parking lots that were established previously, so we just need to make sure that we maintain.
We can expand it, no problem.
Okay.
All that, get all.
Well, prepared will be this area. If you want to expand the parking area, then we're gonna have to look at it, comply with our current standards for parking stalls. But minimum, the code will require to at least maintain and repair the existing parking area by repairing those cracks and restriping, for example. Those are our preliminary comments from the planning department. Does the applicant have any questions at this time for planning?
No, are you guys gonna allow for me to put that concrete inside that basement?
We'll go to the departments and then that question would be answered. I want to go with building next.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, sticking with what you got there, Oscar, on Google.
Yeah.
Is you will have to have at least one accessible parking stall painted in there. I can give you the dimensions for that, but it's in a nutshell, it's 17 feet total. But it has to be basically level, so no more than 2% either direction within that 17 feet width and 18 feet length. So, I mean, Oscar mentioned repair or seal, but it would have, for to meet accessibility, it'd have to be level, a level area.
Let out for it.
Yeah. And then once you do accomplish that, then you at least need to get the accessible stall to the sidewalk.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a path to the sidewalk area.
Mhm.
And all that would have, it would all just have to meet the accessibility code.
ADA?
Yeah. And I can help you out with that. Sticking with accessibility requirements, the only time we can I don't want to use the word force, but what's the word require accessibility upgrades is the valuation of the project. So it doesn't sound like you're putting much money into it. So I don't think we can really require much accessibility upgrades, but as a jurisdiction, we would highly recommend you come into compliance.
Is that a handicap ramp there on the north side?
There's that's a handicap, and we remodeled it, but it was there for it's all since I bought the building, it's been there. Then there's a handicap entrance over here on the south side of it.
But on the porch?
No, not on the porch. Over here on the right there on that door, that white door right there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, and then there's a ramp
Okay.
that leads to the inside.
So yeah, it's there, but does it meet code? I don't, by looking at it, no.
But are we gonna have to update it, being that nothing's been
Well,
changed?
that's my point is we can't, the only time we as a jurisdiction can require it is based off of the valuation of the project.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So by you removing a couple doors and filling in a couple openings and filling in a couple doors, you're not gonna put that much money
No.
for us as for a permit into it.
Right on. Yeah, and I do have the original plans, so everything's staying as it is. The very old.
Well, but lawsuits,
Yeah.
they,
Yeah, no, I
they
understand.
don't look at that. You
I
know what I mean?
understand.
So if you need help, we're here to guide you. We're here to guide you. I know you mentioned filling in the basement, which sounds like a good idea because structurally it's failing.
Mhm.
I know you talked to Logan about that'd be a good option, right? So yeah, between that and I know Oscar on his floor plan, it doesn't. We were talking earlier about how the front front floor is how it's gonna be broken up. So I do have a new I went over it with Aldo this morning, so I do have a new
Okay.
generic sketch on what he's proposing.
Counselor?
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. I know you wanna do residential in the future upstairs.
Right.
Like I mentioned to you earlier, it will require a rating based off what the code states. I believe it's a 2-hour rating between the commercial downstairs and the residential upstairs. Javier, will you help me remember if he puts 3 residential units upstairs, he is not required to have accessibility? Is it 4 or more?
No, it's 3 under the covered roof.
Oh, it is 3.
Yeah, it is three like 4 is for condos. And then it'll all come down to like hardship analysis on that.
So it'll have to be just 2 residents, 2 homes upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah, either put 2 units or 3 could require you to make it accessible, depending on the cost, like he's saying, there may be a hardship waiver or.
Well, so you could do a waiver? It'll be a 2.
Well,
two
so
bed-
I think when Javier mentions hardship, how much money are you gonna put in to make this residential, right?
Mhm.
And then after you get that number, how much is it gonna cost for you to get accessibility to the upper floors, right? Elevator, a lift. There's a few other options in the code. If it's way more money than what you're putting into it to make it residential, then there's a hardship form that you can fill out.
Right, and what the hardship may exclude is maybe that vertical access, but you'd still have to make restrooms compliant, yeah, and things like that.
Okay. I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
So yeah, so a permit would need to be required for at least the minimum stuff you're doing in the basement, filling in the door, filling in the openings.
But there is a way of getting around the elevator.
Yeah,
Maybe,
well,
it depends on the value.
depends on the valuation. And like Javier mentioned, if you have a downstairs area with 3 or more, say for example, you'd have to meet accessibility for, say, the bathrooms. So when you do the remodel upstairs, you would still have to make everything compliant for accessibility. You just possibly wouldn't have to do the elevator or the lift.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean?
So, okay.
And then there might be some examples around town you could look at. I know there was the Lula that was put in for the tax office. Lula is a limited access, limited use elevator. It's not big enough to fit a stretcher, so you have to have a stairway that's accessible with a stretcher. Has to have certain dimensions to be able to get a stretcher up and down the stairwell. But then you will have an elevator big enough for a person in a wheelchair, maybe 2 people, sometimes 3, could get in there and go up. And what they did is they attached it to the exterior of the building. And so there are some options that may be affordable. They just did it for a business office, so. And they were able to get it done.
What's the location?
That's gonna be on Villa and
One
Putnam.
43.
Yeah, if you look at the back wall, you can see the elevator shaft. Go to Villa and Putnam.
Yeah, even though they're They're a whole lot cheaper, but that's too expensive, man.
Well, and like I said, like these guys were able to do it just for a business office and it worked for them. And they actually put the accessible stairwell on the exterior.
Yeah, but
So,
that's a little different though, no? Because it's a business upstairs.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, you say it's just kind of like what you have, it's just a house. They just framed that up and there's a small elevator inside there and that door is just the elevator room.
And then the stairs, you can see it
Yeah.
off of Villa. You
Yeah.
can see it better off of Villa.
Side.
That cost them what, about 100,000?
I have no idea. I don't know what the valuation, he would know what the valuation of that project was or could get it, but there's the accessible stairwell right there.
And the reason you gotta have accessible stairs is if there is an emergency,
We have to be able to get.
the
a
fire
stretcher.
department has to be able to get a fire department, stretcher up there.
Accessibility stairwell, okay.
Yeah. But if your interior stairwell meets those dimensions, it's fine. They just didn't have an interior stairwell.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That, I think that used to be upstairs, used to be an attic and years ago they converted it to more
Mhm.
office space.
Mhm.
And so they put that exterior stairwell. But had they had an interior one and it was wide enough, I would not have made them.
Okay.
And they already had that one. They just had to reinforce it. They had to fix some concrete, fix some of the supports, redo some of the stairs. Just to kind of bring it up so that it was properly functional. And then we were able to swing, they put in a little bit wider door at the top. And so we're able to swing the gurney through. So. But again, there are some options and stuff like that that are available to you that, you know, this is far less than a standard elevator.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because this one around Main Street is, it's a fortune, dude. We've been shopping it around and shit.
Yeah,
For your place,
those are those full blown elevators are expensive.
And all the way down to, they're gonna dig into the basement. And then it's gonna stake out at the rooftop. So it'll be under the basement, 4 floors, and the rooftop, and every floor, they'll try by the floor. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Clayton? wanna
Yeah,
continue?
so, you're gonna have to sprinkler the building, obviously, if you're gonna have residential. What you provided us was very broad,
Yeah.
right? So, if you were to put if you're gonna do living above, my suggestion is get the sprinklers as sooner rather than later, because prices only go up and they don't get any cheaper.
Also the first floor?
Yeah, the whole building, yeah. You can't just do a part of a building. The days of like what you have over there with the basement, those are gone. So you would have to do the whole thing. Now, that is gonna give you a lot of flexibility. For example, if you wanted to bring a restaurant to the downstairs, you absolutely could, but once it's sprinklered, you have a lot of options. If they're gonna be cooking with grease-laden vapors, obviously they'll have to have a hood and duct and the fire suppression system for the hood and duct, but that gives you flexibility to be able to, you know, attract more clients to be able to come in there and rent those spaces. With that, there's, you know, the FDC within 50 feet of a hydrant. We have access all the way around that thing, so access is not an issue for us. We got the alley and 2 streets, so it's not gonna be an issue with access for the fire department. We would need Knox access to the businesses, but you could get away with one Knox box, for example. If you have the upstairs apartments and there is any common areas or like a hallway or anything, then we'll need access to whatever door that is as well. So, but that can be in the Knox box downstairs. We'll just label all of that stuff. And then providing fire extinguishers as required. So. And again, putting in the fire sprinklers, if you have an idea of what you're gonna eventually do upstairs, they can design the layout based on that. So if you decide to go 2 or 3 units up there, whatever you decide, and you give them the plans, they can design the sprinklers around that. So once you're ready to go in, they're already in the right places. The other option is you could start now by sprinklering the bottom and then just putting grid sprinklers upstairs that cover the upstairs. But then you probably would have to pay them to come back and repipe everything to fit what you want to do to make changes. And then occupant loads calculated and on the plans. So we know the amount of people in each space for the commercial stuff. And that's it from fire. Is there any questions or?
No, no, there's a lot of questions.
Okay.
Well, the two, so going from 3 to 2 units, it'll make it get us do away from a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of it.
And then like I mentioned to you earlier today, if you don't want to do residential upstairs, period, and you do want to do commercial, you would still have to have accessibility to the upstairs.
I don't want to do residential.
However, yeah, so yeah. Ultimately, yeah, it's gonna require the fire sprinklers, like I said, it's deciding what you want up there, 2 or 3. And then getting your plans together and then getting a bid to see what it's gonna cost to sprinkler the building with the downstairs commercial and the upstairs residential.
Yeah, we'll see what's gonna be required. Or how much more will it be required to do a 3 instead of a 2? So if it's gonna be a whole lot more, well then.
So, yeah.
I'll deal with it, but if it's about the same, or if there's a way of keeping the requirements the same, whether it is 2 or 3, well then I'd rather go with the 3. Yeah.
Because there is a option in the code to put in a lift.
Like a stair lift, chair lift kind of thing. So,
Oh, well then, yeah, we'll do that. We'll lift. You see them at bars or big cities, but there's like a chair right there.
yeah, and then it just has a rail that goes up and they ride it up and then they can get off at the top.
Usually that's an exterior feature. Or they have a lift to where it's interior and you set it and you kind of ride up gradually.
So yeah, there's some options.
I
I
would
would
send you those code sections,
Mhm. Yeah,
to help for you and your designer.
yeah, because I would like to get going on that right away.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of people, a ton of people calling.
But for now, if you want to get the downstairs going,
Yeah.
then just comply with the building code. I mean the permit for the for filling in the doors and the openings and the parking stuff to at least at a minimum get the first floor rolling.
Yeah, and technically, to get tenants in there right now for the commercial on the first floor, fire sprinklers are not required to do that. However, once they get installed, you have, displacing your clients and stuff like that for the time being while the work is done. But ultimately, that's not a requirement to occupy that space downstairs with commercial. The trigger for sprinklers comes when somebody's gonna be sleeping in the building.
All right on. Yeah, well, that's my main concern that we're talking about, getting it occupied.
Yeah.
Because right now, the only people occupying it is, homeless people.
Yeah, the only other trigger is, we would have to get adequate measures of everything, including not just the interior of the building, but the overhangs like the porches and everything. I would need the full square footage under the building as it sits, an accurate count, because there are triggers if you put a restaurant in there that could trigger fire sprinklers. And then also depending on the occupant load, which is why I said it has to be calculated based on whatever you're gonna do. There is a trigger with an occupant load as well that would require fire sprinklers.
No, I don't.
So there's a couple of other things if you don't go with that right away that may be a deterrent. But those are pretty much the only 2 big ones, that and furniture stores and stuff like that, so.
Okay. Can we lease it out right away without having to do the parking spaces like immediately or?
Well, we would need the permit, the plan submitted for how it is now versus what you want to do.
Separate the suites.
Well, right now, the suites at the bottom, well, see, that's the thing, well, the way we're gonna separate them, that's the way they're gonna, so you want the plan, the way I showed you
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
submitted. That way you can start the construction to actually do the physical separations. But once you have that permit,
Right.
I don't think there's anything at that point. Because they'll also have to identify the suites, right? Because we'll need to know, are you going with 1, 2, and 3, A, B, and C? What are they gonna be considered? So we'll need that stuff identified.
Yeah, because I'm paying $3,000 a month and then no tenants.
Yeah.
So the swing is like 10 grand a month.
So I think that's the fastest way is get the plan in, pull the permit, and on the plan identify, hey, we're gonna be blocking off this door, closing up this wall, whatever it is, to separate them. They're gonna be suites A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and 3. That's on the plan, and I'm gonna go with a B occupancy or something like that that's consistent. And I don't think there's really any.
Yeah, and that gets you like basically into our system. It's on record, business license now, everything's on record. The city has allowed you to turn this into 3 suites.
And then you've got like 6 months to final out the building permit.
No.
So you could conceivably, you could go in there once you have that permit, you could wall off suite 1 and have your tenants start moving in. And then you can work on a little bit of time separating, B and C or whatever you're gonna call them under the permit. And then, hey, once B is ready, yep, I got a tenant, go ahead and fill the space. And okay, C is ready, go ahead and fill the space. So you can start and do that gradually under an open building permit.
Open building permit. Yeah, because I gotta get.
That,
people
like I
in,
said, that's, I think the quickest thing is talk with your designer, have them get that plan. It's a very simple plan. And then once James approves that, we approve it, you get the permit. It's as quick as, hey, yeah,
So if I get this blueprints in, let's say, I don't know, by next Tuesday or Wednesday. How soon will I be able to allow the tenant to move in there? Or,
Well, once the permit gets issued, then you can start doing the work, right? And then we can inspect it as the progress.
and there is nothing that says that he can't have a tenant in there while he's doing the work, separating those suites. Like, I mean, so if we issued, let's just say you get it to us by Tuesday or Wednesday, it takes us a week or 2 to review it, and then we issue you the permit. The same day you go over there with the green card permit, the issued permit, your tenant could be moving in. Now, they may have to be disrupted while you're framing in that wall to separate them from the other suite, but that's, your construction crew can go in at night and handle that stuff too. Because you've got an active permit, so you can coordinate with the tenant. Hey, you guys close at 5, cool. I'm gonna have the guys work from 5 to 9, and then they're gonna come at 5 in the morning and work till you guys open. And then it shouldn't take that long. But there's nothing that says, hey, they can't be there, because you're not doing these massive structural changes or huge supports where it's dangerous for someone to be there. Like, you're basically just doing some framing and drywall and painting.
Yeah.
So all we need to know is that's identified on the plans. The suites are clearly identified, whatever you're gonna call them. And then once you get issued the permit, there's nothing that says they can't be moving their stuff in while you're over there getting bids from contractors even to do the work.
No, we're gonna do all the work. So within like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we
and then
can get
just
that.
make sure they apply for their business license, that way it goes through.
Yeah, there was 2 barbershops, when they're ready to go in there. The guy, young kid, he actually does like barbershop competitions, and he's been on me. And then there's a lady that does dermatology work, and then a yoga lady, and then a mixed martial artist. So there's people in line, and then upstairs, shit, I get calls every other day, like, hey.
Yeah.
But I just want to lease it out, man, at least. Because one of my friends was one of the guys that works with us. He was willing to. He's like, "Oh, I'll sleep on the top floor just to, get people from not going in there and taking shit to my toilets." Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said,
Yeah.
what we're talking about is what you're proposing to us right now to get started isn't something that's necessarily gonna delay you moving those people in. So.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll get the new blueprints, man, as soon as I can. Then submit that open building permit.
Yeah, you'll get a permit issued to you, and it's good for 6 months. All we gotta do is final it within 6 months. So you can get those suites all separated. all cleaned up, ready, call James, be like, hey, I need you to come in. Cause that way, if you go to, like with the barber shop or the beauty thing, like she's like, hey, I want a sink here and here. And you're like, we're already doing construction. And the barber's like, yeah, it'd be nice if you put some outlets up a little bit higher. Just make sure that's shown on the plan for the electrical and plumbing, and then you're good.
Yeah, whatever you wanna do
Yeah.
do that building.
Also for the hardship application, do I talk to him here for that?
That would probably come in when you decide on the
That'd be in the
residential stuff and
Future.
start working on that project.
Thanks. Well, I wanna start working on it as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll talk to him here for that.
During,
Yes.
that would be during, that'd be a comment that would come from us during the, plan review process of the upstairs.
Okay, all right.
And if you have any other questions, just reach out to us.
Yeah.
Have your designer reach out to us, we'll work with them.
All right.
Sounds good. Moving along with engineering, Javier?
All right, for engineering, it's gonna be, just depending on how much is spent. And we'd evaluate, frontage improvements like the drive approach and, street lights. They add up quick, so just if your remodel isn't gonna be too much, then you may not be on the hook to do any public improvements. But that's all engineering would have.
Thank you, Javier. Next with Public Works, starting with Brianna.
I don't have any comment. This would
Thank
just
you.
be residential can service or commercial can service.
Commercial cans, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Next with Joe.
No comment from streets.
Thank you. Next with the police department, with Mark.
No comments.
Thank you, Mark. And that is all comments. Oh, no, sorry. David, any comments regarding to the water utilities?
Yeah, with this being a commercial facility and being in alignment with our new 2025 cross connection control plan, it would need a backflow device on the water service just after the meter. That would be my only comment.
Thank you, David. With that, we'll compile each department's comments in a letter and will be sent out to the applicant in 2 to 3 weeks from today's date. Are there any additional questions from the applicant at this time for the city staff? No? All right. Well, we're good. Thank you for the application. Again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Oh, sure, thank you.
Thank you, absolutely. Next is gonna be the second item on today's agenda, which is PRC 2025-038.
No, I will. Put space, bro. Okay.
All right, so let me share the screen.
So I'll talk to Ray. Start working on the rating. Yeah.
All right, so we have the applicant proposing a preliminary residential parcel map to subdivide the existing 1.34 acre property into 4 total parcels for the development of a future multifamily residential project. The property site is located on Chase Avenue, approximately 500 feet west of Plano. The property is split zone with RM2 medium density residential and RM3 high density residential. And with the zoning here, so we could go. The zoning here. So yes, the project site is located at APN 261-030-082. As far as comments from planning, the project will require to process a tentative parcel map complying with chapter 402. The tentative parcel map shall be prepared by a registered civil engineer and or licensed surveyor. There are fees associated with the tentative parcel map. The tentative parcel map fee is $1,500. It will require an environmental assessment of the project. We can make a preliminary determination for an exemption, in which staff will prepare the notice of exemption for a fee of $79. It will require the environmental document to be filed with Tulare County clerk, and there is a fee of $58 for that. This project will require parcel map committee, which is a public hearing, in which we'll notify we'll send a notice to the newspaper and also mail out the notice to the adjacent properties within a 300-foot radius. City can prepare that service for $26.50. I believe you've excluded that already. But in the future, if that changes, we can always provide that service. Now, once the tenant map is approved, it is good for up to 24 months unless the applicant requests an extension. The tenant map will require a final map, and that fee is $955. Now, you are showing preliminary development of 3 of the parcels, not the 4th one. Are we leaving the 4th parcel not developed?
Well,
Or would we be mirroring something similar?
the larger parcel is probably gonna consist of 12 units.
12 units?
If the setbacks and confines allow for it, but as far as like the parcel size, based on the zoning, it should accommodate 12 units.
Okay.
So we're trying to phase into it,
Mhm.
just funds.
For sure. Let's see. 0, 2, 1. So I want to see where more or less that zoning changes. Oh. One question, Jeff, would we require the parcel lines to be at that change in zoning? So it looks like half of what would be parcel 3, half of that parcel is gonna be medium density and the other half is gonna be high density. As part of the land division, would we require those parcel lines line up with the zoning?
I don't think so off the top of my head. We'll do a circle back on that. We can probably do a density blend on it.
Okay,
So yeah, let's not jump to that conclusion immediately. We'll circle back on it.
no, for sure. All right. As far as the multifamily development within these parcels, it will require to comply with the Porterville development ordinance, specifically chapter 201, which is our residential districts. Just some minor adjustments here. For example, the driveway you're showing at 19.5. Two-way driveways require for it to be minimum 20 feet wide. The landscaping buffer between the both parcels, you're showing 2.5 feet. It does require to be a minimum 3 feet. Just minor adjustments here and there. Parking, it will require 1 covered parking per unit. In addition to another, a second open parking per unit. You're showing, let's see, 2-bedroom units? 2 to 3 bedroom units?
Mhm.
Okay. And of course, those covered parking shall be designated one per apartment. It will require to provide private and open space. For the development, you are showing private space. We just want to make sure that you also show common space. You are showing it here, so we'll make sure that you meet the minimums, which is 100 square feet per unit.
With that area in front of the the garbage bin containers or the storage area, would that qualify?
Here,
Yeah, that area along with that.
it would at least have to be landscaped area.
Got it.
Yeah.
So one can make like just a concrete path along the garbage bin so they can roll them out. And then have like landscaping.
Yeah, it would have to at least be 10 by 10 areas as outlined in our code.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll take a look at that for sure. You are allowed to have signage as part of your multifamily project. Any fencing complying with 300.03. As far as again signage, you're allowed one building mounted sign and one monument sign, not exceeding 32 square feet. Yeah, that's our preliminary comments based off today's project.
Okay. So 20-foot wide driveway, 3-foot setback from the fence line.
Yeah, landscaping buffer
Landscaping
from,
as well.
from interior property lines, correct? Because it is a driveway and considered a parking area, we need that buffer.
Is a curb required?
Yes,
Uh,
curb is required.
With that exterior side of the curb, say it's 6 inches, does that qualify as part of the 3 feet or the landscape's 3 feet plus an additional 6 inches?
The way the code is worded, it would be the landscape planter, the interior of that planter would be 3 feet. So it doesn't count the curb. So you may have to just redesign a little bit the units, maybe cutting them a few feet to make the minimum driveway and to meet the landscape planner. You may have to, reduce this by a few feet. That way you can make it work. Or maybe you could always, adjust your proposed lot lines.
Yeah, that would eat into the 12 potential units.
Okay.
That was the only reason it's right at 12. You guys don't round up, stay in the event, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's 0.4 acres that's left on the larger lot.
Oh, yeah.
That would allow for 12. So if we ate into that, it would be 11. Okay. And it has to be a two-way. And it's also California State Code mentions like 10-foot minimum
Or,
for the driveway.
no,
It's dual.
fire lanes are different. I'll get into that when I start talking about the fire stuff. Apparatus access.
Okay. Are you gonna just go on to?
Oh, yeah, unless you have any questions for planning right now, I can always move it along and anything else. If a question comes up, we can always come back.
But the parking's okay. Cause I know it's near public transport. And I think it's AB 2097, like reduces parking minimums, so. Not that we're looking to reduce it, we want to maintain 8 spaces in total. And then
No, yeah, you meet our minimums based off of what you're proposing. It's not, you're not proposing more than 5 what's it called, 5 units per lot. At a point which you'll require guest parking, but since it's 4 or less, you're, as proposed, you do meet the minimums.
Okay, but the setbacks, the landscaping area.
Yeah.
From the building.
Correct.
Fine.
Yes, it'll be minimum 5 feet from the what would be the west side. So yes, you do meet the minimum setback. We don't count the backyard. We measure from the property line to the building.
Oh, so we can reduce the backyard a little.
You would have to at least meet the minimum private open space, which is at least a 10 by 10.
Got it. So 100 square feet.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you're able to reduce that. I don't see a measurement there, 3.5.
I think it's 10 by the
The unit.
yeah. So it's like 10 by roughly like
Yeah, so you may not be able to reduce the backyard. We'll take a closer look at that. We'll provide our final review comments on the letter. Again, maybe the quick and easiest solution is maybe just to take off a foot or two from the buildings to not only to maybe mitigate those two comments.
okay. Parking dimensions,
Yeah, minimum 9 by 20 for open.
um. So they're 9 by 20 minimum, not 9 by 8 and by 18.
It can
for
be,
open.
it can be 18 if there's a
Concrete 2-foot stock.
correct.
Okay. Yeah, we were thinking doing that and then also having a curb from the
Oh, yeah.
setback. So it'd be like essentially 2 stopping points.
Okay.
Okay. And just so I could better explain your point,
Yeah, sure.
just we're thinking like since if we had storage inside and partially here, whatever this ends up being, this would allow like, I know there's like a requirement to like back up. Since this would allow, plus this space with the overhang, allow them to back up.
Yeah.
drive out. I'm thinking, is that
That's not anything I have anything to do with.
okay?
Fire department's not concerned if they have to make 8-point turns to get in and out of their spot.
Got it. Okay.
We just want access for us to be able to get there.
You're showing 24 feet here between
Yeah,
between the
California.
parking stalls.
That's all California state code.
Okay.
And with like AB 2097, I was wondering if like an exemption would allow for that. Because we're a little bit constrained by like the length of the unit or the space. So it's just,
You guys need 25, Oscar?
Yeah, it's gonna, our code says 25.
okay.
So not necessarily the 3-point turn, the
Did you?
from back of stall to back of stall on opposite side.
Okay. So we need an extra foot. Well, what's the setback between the building and the parking?
Does that say 2.5 up there?
This says 2.5. It would at least have to be 5 feet. And is that a walkway?
No, it'd be just like a anchor.
Oh,
Like
okay,
a
okay.
just solder.
Yeah.
Wood chips.
And then all our planters, they would at least have to be minimum 3 feet.
Okay.
Another comment that I just noticed is these storage areas. They do have to be accessible to the units. So you will have to provide some type of internal connectivity between the storage and the units.
So they would be better placed in
I've
the
seen,
rear.
yeah, I've seen
or-
some projects where they'll place them here in the backyard of the units. And then again, they're accessible from the private space. I've seen that. Or if you don't want to have it popped onto the backyard, I've seen some where they're like popped into the building itself.
Mhm.
And that could help you save some space from the parking area. But again, we'll provide our minimum as part of our code.
So it has to be accessible directly to the.
For the units, yes.
Okay, not just accessible walking or rolling on a wheelchair.
There has to be, I think the code worded, let me get my book.
Because I was thinking, for instance, like this first parking space would be assigned to, say, unit D. And there would be a doorway here that would open up so they could access, and then this one would be assigned to say unit C. And they would access it through here, and it would be all, of course, ADA approved.
The way it's worded is that such area may be accessible from the private open space area for the unit near required parking or adjacent to or within other common areas of the development. As far as walkways shall link the residential units to the public right of way and with recreational or other internal facilities as well as with other residential units. Just a quick, Jeff, determination, would we need a walkway connecting the storage units to the, units itself?
Parking lot?
Because it sounds like they're in a publicly accessible place because they can walk up to them if
Correct.
so.
Uh, sorry to not have an answer again. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
Like the storage, like the interior one would be like assigned to,
Oh, yeah, correct.
could be assigned to this person. That would say unit D, they could access it. They have, control of the vehicle. This one say unit C, a little doorway right here where they could access it right here. Go directly to
They're
their,
the same idea
Same.
across the.
yeah.
So, yeah, so I don't know about.
Making it like solid structures there, with covers, blocks.
Oscar, can I make a couple comments?
Sure, James.
So your 80 stall. Hey, if this was a path of travel, you can't block with bumper, you'd have to have 4 feet right here. I think you're fine cause you're coming off to the right and you're going straight. But
Should be flush with the,
yeah, but to get from here to the front door, you can't have a path of travel from this access aisle in a vehicular way.
got it. So it would almost have to say
You'd
it
have-
made it flush and then made a pathway.
Yeah, so
Doorway.
would unit D be the one that's accessible? Is that what you guys were thinking?
It could be, yeah, like, or we could have a doorway here and then a doorway there with just,
Would the front door have to face a certain way?
Not unit D, because it's in the back, the unit facing the street, does have to orientate towards the street. So unit A would have to orientate towards, the back. Not unit D because it's not the front of the building.
But there's nothing to say on unit A, if they put a front door on the street, that couldn't be a back door off the drive aisle where people could that would be where they go in and out. It just has a front door facing the street.
yeah, and unit A's access would be right there.
Well, yeah, that would be a secondary access. The primary access for unit A has to face the street.
It's just the way,
Has to have a front door.
God.
the way the code is worded, it
Not-
says that multifamily development shall orientate toward the right of way. So we
Got
would at least ask unit A to have some type of orientation for the right of way. Normally, they'll have a porch with the entrance.
Got it.
But
facing-
there's nothing to say like where you want to put the door now, that can be a back door that they could actually use to go in and out. Because it's closer to the parking.
Got it.
Yeah, but I think the more for accessibility, the more important comment for me would be, Oscar, can you go back
yeah.
up to the parking stall? Is, how do you get from the accessible aisle to the front door of whatever unit you're going to?
Is unit D and unit C different floor plans?
Yeah, the two in the middle are identical, and then the two on,
Oh, yeah, they're
Plans are the same.
Yeah.
mirror, it's like a mirror.
See, so if this is unit D, to get to this front door, if this is your access aisle
yeah.
right here, you can't send a person in this
traffic.
traffic.
So it might ultimately require making three use and just making this,
Yes.
yeah,
You can, as long as it's, as long as there's a barrier between
right.
the vehicle versus the patron.
But I don't think he's gonna get that.
Yeah.
He's already gonna get 20 feet plus a 3-foot landscape strip.
Right.
The other thing that I'm just thinking about right now is, leave it here. Yeah. So this is the front that faces the street. So
Right.
you're gonna have to flip flop that probably to get the orientation and have like a back door through the bath. But
And he doesn't have to have a back door.
yeah, but doesn't have to. What you could do is even put this up here, the big ones back to back, the smaller ones in the back. Make one of them your ADA right there by the parking. They come in, they have the door, and then the entry for this unit is right here, like this is, but here. And then the front one with that flipped, their entry door is, since it's flipped, is right there. They can actually just walk right there and walk in. They face the street, they have access to the street, but they also have access to walk right there.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't think.
Because a regular person can walk through that,
Right.
but the ADA can't.
Right.
And so you could potentially still get the same number of bedrooms you're looking for,
I
just moving the orientation to get what you need for the ADA compliance.
yeah, good catch there. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I was just kind of fixated on like that or giving it up and going to do. Yeah,
So there's options,
okay,
some things to think about.
okay. Are we gonna go through the layout a little bit later?
Again, if departments have any questions based on it.
So are we ready to move on, or?
I think we're good for now for planning, and then we'll verify your other questions.
Got it.
A little bit, or through the Pearson letter.
So.
Next was fire with James. Like,
So basically, we are gonna need a minimum of a 20-foot fire department apparatus access. So, and that is going to have to be a dedicated fire lane, no stopping, standing, or parking. And realistically, I would say the easiest way to do that is to come in about 150 feet of fire lane from the street. And then at the end of that 150 feet, then it's not a fire lane after that.
Got it.
That doesn't require a turnaround because we can back up to 150 feet. But that point on there will get us with hoses the rest of the property that we need to get to. So if we pull the engine in and stop it, we can go ahead and get back there and do what we need to do with the hose pulls from the engine.
Yeah.
But it will have to be marked fire lane, no parking,
But it's
no
not
stopping,
near
standing,
red.
parking. Yeah, do you intend to keep them or sell them?
Keep them.
So my thing would be, there is a city ordinance that is derived from the vehicle code that allows for the property owner to additionally put signs that any unauthorized vehicles on their property will be towed at the owner's expense. That vehicle code also allows you to contract directly with a tow company that has a storage yard within 10 miles, which we have plenty of those. You can choose one. And then what you do is you basically just give them permission to police your property for you. If their tow trucks want to drive by once a day, twice a day, if there's any cars parked in that fire lane, they hook them and take them at the owner's expense.
Size requirements.
Size requirements for the sign, I can get those to you at 17 by 22. Lettering has to be at least 1 inch of a C-stroke width. And it has to contain the ordinance, vehicle code, and contain the police department's non-emergency direct number, which we can get you all of that stuff. I can get you some examples. I'll give you an example of the code is 22,658 of the vehicle code, and then 17-63.2 and 0.3 of the city ordinance. So that will help take care of that and resolve that, and doesn't put a burden on the police and fire departments to have to constantly deal with correcting those things.
Right. Okay.
So with that said, obviously the buildings will have to be sprinklered. And so you will have to have a fire department connection within 50 feet of a fire hydrant. And so there will need to be the addition of some hydrants. Now, one of the things that Oscar and I were talking about was potentially those first two lots, maybe flip-flopping the inside one so that they have a common driveway. That could get you some more space to do the things that you need to do, because you still only need the 20-foot entrance. But by combining their entrance, you now gain some stuff to play around with and move things that you need to do there. Alternatively, that last fourplex may have an entrance that shares with that 12plex,
Okay,
right? Because they're gonna be under the same ownership, similar to these. See how you've got the two facing with the single entry?
Mhm.
Same idea. Only difference is you'll have parking on the end of those.
got it. So,
You see, so that gives you the benefit of, hey, I gotta cut here, cut here, cut here. Well, if I flip flop them, now I have
one shared driveway.
one shared driveway and I get to use the other driveway's square footage or
And
footage.
say 50 years down the road, we're no longer the owners. Is there like?
You're gonna put
Yes.
easements, yeah, you'll have
As
all
part
of
of,
that
as
stuff.
part of your parcel map, you'll record an easement for access, maybe utilities. And it'll stay recorded with the property.
Yeah,
Will
and
that make it less costly for utilities running it in the same?
potentially, because you got one sewer line now for 8 units.
Got it.
Right? You've got one,
So it'd be one bill.
well, it could be to I don't know, we'll get to the sewer department. I'm getting out of my lane. I don't want to get too far out of my head. But by doing this, you'll see, you're not gonna have garages, so that basically that center will be no stopping, standing or parking, like those cars that you see there
Got it.
shouldn't be parked like that.
Got it.
Right? And so that's why I'm saying if you had those things up, you could have a tow truck company go by there and haul those things away.
Okay.
So yeah, again, sprinklered fire department connection within 50 feet, fire extinguishers, per the fire code and California code of regulations. Basically, it's 75-foot travel distance. And the fire sprinkler systems have to be monitored. So all of the plans, underground, fire sprinklers, fire alarm, all of that is submitted at the same time building plans are submitted. So there's no deferred items. Everything has to come in as a complete package. But you do only submit everything to the building division. So that makes it a little easier.
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding fire?
Um,
And if you do, I can show you how we do measurements after this and to go over some stuff too, if it's not.
sure. Do you know where like the fire hydrants would be? Like-
So what we would do is we would have to find the existing fire hydrants at that location. And then we would take measurements from there. So we require, in single-family residential and duplexes, you're allowed to get away with, one hydrant every 500 feet. But in multifamily, and commercial and mixed use, the maximum spacing is 300 feet. So you'll probably have to put in a few fire hydrants right there
Okay.
to get the distances.
Would any across the street?
We don't count hydrants across the street.
Okay.
We will use them, but we don't count them to meet your fire flow or your connectability to a fire department connection.
Okay.
So essentially what we do is we kind of try to look at that one there and then space out those and then look at your project to see where we're gonna put the FDCs and everything else. So, and we can go over that design too.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Okay, all right, move on to building.
Thank you.
I think I covered.
James, good.
You
Next,
know, I guess besides making sure, at least one of the units per property is, meets, chapter 11A of the building code.
Fully accessible bathroom with the turnaround access and hallway. Yeah, that was gonna be what I was gonna lead up to. If you want to look at
the floor plan?
the backyards, they're considered, they're not private, so I wouldn't, would that need to be 5 feet, I believe?
The door?
The hallway, because I saw something
Oh,
where
right.
you need a T, like a T if you're,
So is the backyard's, just concrete?
it's concrete,
Because
that's also eating.
no, what would be
a foot
more,
and a half.
what would be more of a, comment would be the door leading out to the backyard.
Okay,
You know, the threshold,
got it.
basically. Once
The
you,
drop or the,
yeah, you can't have more than a half inch.
okay,
Uh,
but could this be reduced to the normal 3.5 feet because this is private, not common area.
Right.
And
You
like-
would- if I recall it, you only need 36 inches.
Okay. Yeah, because we could gain about 3 feet right there. And like that could probably give us the foot that we need for the 25 and we might have to move around a little just for the planter for the 3 foot planter. That's another, what, 6 inches? So yeah, with that was, if we can reduce that, those 3 feet, give us
What are you showing now?
5.
Yeah. No, I'm
Because
pretty
it's private.
sure it's 3. I'd have to look again, but I think it's only 3 feet. And then your door opening, once it's open, has to be a minimum of 34 inches.
Okay.
I mean, in a nutshell, a 3-foot door, complies.
Okay. Okay.
Javier might remember the width of the hallway, but I think it's 3 feet.
Yeah. I know if it goes to like common area, it has to be 5 feet. At least that's what I read. But I
If
was,
it's outside common area, it's 4 feet. That's
okay.
There's only there's a few areas in the code that are turnaround
Mhm.
areas.
And we're not utilizing HUD, I think, or like loans or anything, so we don't have to, comply with those. Okay.
Javier, help me out if I misspoke.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Right, with that, Javier, do you have any questions? I mean, any comments on the project regarding the land division and the and the development of each lot?
Just that improvements will be required as each lot develops. From the previous comments we gave, I know there is one streetlight location that was needed. And, but that's really the extent of the engineering's comments.
Cool.
But one other thing, like in developing the sidewalk and the the
Curb gutter.
yeah, the curb and gutter planner. I think there's already curb and gutter there, just dirty. But in developing the sidewalk and the planners there for the curb cut, could we, since we don't want to, our concern is building out the actual curb, but then having trucks enter and breaking those during the construction. Could we build everything out and leave out the actual curb? Or I mean the driveway approach, I mean. Our concern is having a driveway approach there and then have it during construction and having those break. So we're hoping that we can develop everything else out and omit the driveway approach until construction completed.
So the very last
Pretty
part,
much.
if you will.
Yeah, until all the big trucks are basically done going in.
So what point do public improvements have to get built? Could it get built towards the end
Yeah.
of the construction, not at the beginning?
Correct, but Javier can comment on how long it has to cure before you can drive on it. I don't know that answer.
Yeah, but we can build the sidewalk, the planters, everything there. We just want to leave the driveway approach, is dirt until we're like pretty much done entering. So we don't destroy the approach.
You can do that. You just need to probably rock the entrance so you don't get track out onto the street.
Okay.
And then how long would that drive approach have to set Javier, before they can actually drive on it.
Right. Usually it's at least 7 days.
Okay.
Would, so let's say, so do we, okay, there's 4 lots. Would we have to do the whole sidewalk all at once or phased?
I believe, it was per development of each lot, right, Javier?
Yeah, per lot.
Okay, so as we're doing one, we could do one, another,
Yep.
okay, cool. Yeah, just thinking about funds, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good with engineering. Next, with our public works department, starting with David.
No comments from water at this time. Thank you, though.
Thank you, David. Next, with Brianna for refuse.
I have no comments.
Would this be served, by, residential can service, Brianna?
Yeah. Yeah, this would be all can service since they're all different lots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The only thing that I would be a little concerned about was how far they have to walk to store the extra containers. I can see the containers being left out on the street a lot of the time, which is against the city code.
Could we hire it, like one of the tenants to, pay them to do it?
I think her point is just making sure that they're aware that they gotta
Bring back the
bring them
cans
back in
out
every
to the
day.
lot, not leave them in the.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that says you can't give somebody, one of the tenants, a $50 a month break to make sure they pull the cans back for everybody after they've been emptied. It's incumbent upon each tenant to put them out there if they're full,
Right.
but one person is responsible for making sure they all get back. That's a great job for a teenager if there's one living there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna.
Oh, I might go do
I can drive by there once a week. You know, ride my electric bike. See some.
Next with, Joe.
No comments from streets.
Thank you. Next was police department with Mark.
No comments.
Thank you, Mark. Looks like that's all preliminary comments from, city staff at this time. As stated on the previous project, we'll compile each department's, comments in a letter and provide it to the applicant in about 2 to 3 weeks time frame. Are there any other, comments from the applicant at this time?
I think that covers it.
As far as the other questions, we'll verify that, do a little bit more research, and then we'll provide that, those, some of your
Solar minimum, solar
solar.
system minimum.
Yeah, there'll be a minimum.
Do you know, like, is it a kilowatt?
I can get you that information in the comment.
Okay, thanks.
And anytime between now and then, just feel free to reach out to staff and we'll be able to assist you with questions you may have.
Okay,
All right, sounds good.
thank you guys.
So with that, we're gonna go ahead and end today's project review committee meeting at 2:46 PM. I would like to thank everybody that joined us today. Thank you. Have a good one.